The Heath Hawks football team lost their fourth game in a row Friday night to Wiley, a former 5A school, 35-21 at Wilkerson Sanders Stadium. This was the fourth loss in a row for the Hawks after starting off the season with 4 straight victories. The young Hawks were tied at halftime, 14-14, but the more experienced Wiley Pirates scored 3 touchdowns in the second half to basically knock the Heath Hawks out of the playoffs. Heath's head coach, Mickey Moss, says that the Hawks' inexperience and lack of depth has finally caught up with them.
Yeah, I think we just really surprised a lot of people being 4-0, but looking back what we had coming back this year and the number of young kids we had playing and the number of kids we have been on varsity for the first time and on both sides of the football, and the guys we were counting on without any varsity experience or starting experience, with only 2 starters on offense, or 2 on defense and 3 on offense coming back, it was, we knew. I think what we did, we surprised ourselves to be 4-0, but really, I wouldn't have thought that after that, and we just made some plays in those games, and then we lost a few players and had some kids that we held out of some ball games and lost some close ones there, and then we faced a very tough physical Wiley team. And every game, if we look at 11 points in those 3 losses, and then Wiley was a 14-point loss. So it's just the difference in between the first games and the second game. Those other games were just a play here, a play there, and it makes a difference. And that's what you run into when you got a lot of youth, a lot of inexperience. But the great thing it holds for is our kids in the future. When we look at playing right now, we have started at any time this season 10 different sophomores, and we have at least 7 sophomores start every ball game, and the same thing for 6 juniors. 8 juniors. So we're very thin on the senior side, but we're very strong depth-wise with our young kids, and they're getting a lot of great experience. And to be honest, they have played really above and beyond what I thought. For those kids who were playing freshman football last year to be thrown into the fire in a very tough district, and that's the other part. We're a tough district. If we're in the East Texas district, you looked at one point there were 4 teams at 0-5, and our district is just the opposite. And so, one of those teams that started 0-5 will be in the playoffs for sure, because the other 3 teams in their district, our district's not that way, and it's tough. And I think it holds well for our future, for the way our kids have played. And I think our kids have played hard, extremely hard, and with great desire, and we've just come up short a few times. And we're trying to get over the hump. And this week against Highland Park, our kids believe we can win that game. Highland Park's got a 61-game home winning streak going on since 1998, and they had a winning streak going a couple of years ago, and we knocked them off here at Wilkerson Sanders. So our kids believe they can win, and we know they're going to go out and do a great job.
Well, I remember at the beginning of the year you did say that inexperience and depth would be a difficulty for you this year. So you've just kind of reiterated that right now. A little bit of a rebuilding year, but yeah, this is exciting about Highland Park. I do remember you knocking them off in the past, so they're going to remember that too, I would imagine.
Yes,
right?
I mean, go back even after we were 4-0 and rankings were high, I said, listen, I don't pay attention to those because I know what kind of team we have. When we had kids playing hard and being in the right place, right time, but because of their depth and inexperience, that it was going to be a week-to-week battle, and it has been. And I don't think, I've said this since the first ball game, that I believe every ball game this year is going to come down to one game at a time, and that game is going to come down to the last quarter. And we're looking there at the Wiley game. We're tied. We're down 21-14. And we hit a long touchdown pass that gets called back by something I haven't seen in 20-something years, and it's a very unusual call, but it is what it is. And And so Wiley took the ball back down the field and scored and went up two scores on us. And that you know, at that point in the game, that was hard to overcome because they're a very physical team with a lot of kids with 5A and starting experience. So our kids, you know, one thing, our kids have fought hard. They've been fun to coach. They're giving everything they got every week. Really been, you know, even through the last couple of weeks, we've had fun at practice and had some great practices, and we're working on getting better at the fundamentals. Kids got great attitudes. They still believe in themselves, and we still believe in them and our team. So it's going to be fun Friday night.
Yeah, it will be. Do you think it might be another high-scoring game? You guys seem to be able to put points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, well, that comes and goes. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. You know, go back, wish we could have put points on McKinney North and Wiley the other night. But, you know, from week to week, you know, it's, I know this, we cannot stay on the field a long time defensively against Highland Park. We have got to, we can't have 3 and outs and punt the ball. We've got to make first down. So, you know, I don't know how the game's going to go, but I expect our kids to be fighting to the end.
Any major injuries that you have to deal with, or any other problems?
Unfortunately, right now, Ross Hudson, our quarterback, is out. Tyler Goodwin, who's starting right tackle, is out. Parker Wood, our free safety, starting free safety, is out. Javon Hernandez, starting running back, is out. And
so they're all out for the game?
yes, sir. And,
oh, dear.
Unfortunately. And well, I know we have one more that's out. Timbo Duncan, who started at strong safety, outside linebacker, he's back out. So, you know, it's, you know, that's part, you know, to be honest with you, I've never had a game where our mass unit or was that severe on the sideline that those things happened. And when it was a physical ball game, but that was a very unusual game to have that many injuries in one game.
Well, thank you, Coach. We wish you the best of luck in beating Highland Park this week. We'll be cheering for you. And how about one other quick question? Tell the fans about your son and what he's doing over at Arkansas. The Hogs are doing quite well this year, aren't they?
Hogs are having a good season, and my son is actually getting a red shirt this year. So he played last year as a true freshman, and my wife and I followed them pretty much around the country. Went to Florida, went to Alabama, went to LSU games, watching them play and watch him play. But this year he's getting they've got depth, amount of depth at linebacker with a lot of seniors this year. And they saw it as an opportunity to give him his year back and get a red shirt in. And so he's got 3 more years after this year. So he's working hard. He's put on some weight. He's about 240 pounds as an inside backer. And he's excited about the opportunity to get better.
He's eating well then, huh?
He's been eating too much macaroni and cheese.
All right. Well, tell him hello from the RockwallNews.com.
Thank you.
And this is J.J. Smith. Thank you very much, Coach Moss.
Thanks, J.J.